My name is Ricky Volk, and this is how I wrote Biding My Time. I actually wrote this song about 5 years ago now, in October of 2017. It basically started as a simple guitar part, and I had been playing around with songs like Stop This Train by John Mayer and Blackbird by the Beatles. Both of those songs have a unique picking pattern where you sort of pick and flick the strings at the same time, and in learning those songs, somewhere in there I came up with the verse part to Biding My Time. And from there, the rest of the song was pretty straightforward. I added a more chordal section for the chorus, kind of improvised a solo in the middle of the song, and I never really put too much thought into it. I think I even wrote the lyrics in about a day, which is probably why I don't like them all that much. This was one of those songs where you just kind of write down a bunch of words and glue them together into some sort of coherent song. And then one day I just kind of casually recorded the vocals after lunch with a friend, and that was it. The demo was done. And I've had this demo for 5 years now when I'm trying to get a little more serious about my music recording and performing. And a few years ago I started playing open mics, and since then I don't think there has actually been one where I haven't played this song. And now with going into recording a full album, I figured this song would be one that I could re-record because it could use some updating and because people seem to like it enough. And I honestly thought it would be a lot easier. But it turns out that trying to change something that I've lived with for so long can be really mentally difficult. I always knew going in that I'd be adding instrumentation to it because the demo was just acoustic guitar and vocals, and that was it. But now I had the opportunity to add drums and bass and even a background synth part that I used to just kind of fill out the sound. And the additional instrumentation, even though it is the biggest change to the song, was actually the easiest part. With it already being a pretty simple song, the extra stuff was simple as well, like the drums basically being just a steady kick drum and a couple flourishes in the chorus. With the bass, I got to be a little more creative because it can be heard so well with the song mostly just being guitar and vocals, but it is really just there to elevate the song's dynamics. These things were just added to complement what was already written, and so they were easier than the small changes I otherwise made. One of my favorite additions to the song is something my girlfriend and I worked on together, which is just this random egg shaker we got at a music store, and it just kind of adds a little texture to the background. I toyed around for quite a while with the intro guitar part because I wasn't really a fan of the intro in the demo. It really didn't have a time signature that suited the rest of the song. It sounded a little bit pretty, but in the end it wasn't the most fitting choice. And that guitar part happens again in the middle of the song at the bridge, and so the hardest part about that was finding something else that would help fill that gap and not ruin the song. And really what I wound up doing was playing pretty much the same notes, just more chordal so they blend a little better, and to a tempo so that it fit with the song as a whole. The hardest change in this song by far was the change of the vocals, and more specifically the lyrics. There were a handful of parts that I thought about changing, like the chorus I really stewed on changing, but I had played it so many times that it was just ingrained in me that I could not do it any differently without feeling weird about it. One of the things I did change was at the end of the first verse, which is kind of like a pre-chorus. I had previously said, "and see what's in store," and I always hated that line because it just made me think of shopping for groceries. I instead changed that part to, "can anyone tell me what we're doing this for," which got rid of my issue of not liking the lyric, but it is a lot more wordy. And that's the main issue of changing vocals I've sat with for so long, is I was stuck in my ways of wanting it to kind of rhyme with that or rhyme scheme. There are a couple of other spots that I changed as well, but really none of them are all that significant because I couldn't bring myself to make any significant changes to the vocals, even though I really don't like them all that much. I feel like I can do a lot better with a fresh start these days. But after stewing over these changes for so long, I eventually had to just get it done. And for better or worse, The difficulty of making these changes is what led me to kind of adding a small layered effect on the choruses. The layered vocals kind of actually helped distract me from the changes I did make and the ones that I just kind of had to leave as they were. But I was also just trying to freshen up the song a little bit and also try out some of the plugins I had just got. In the end, Biding My Time is still a very simple song, and I do think that I elevated it to be a bit better. At its core, it's still a song centrally focused around an acoustic guitar and vocals, and with fully releasing the song, this is why I decided to also include my original demo and a live version, because they are both only guitar and vocals, and the live version is one where it is my newly updated version with both the slightly changed guitar part and the new lyrics. My hope with re-recording the song, even though I didn't change all that much about it, is that more people will be able to hear it, and I hope that they like it as much as people have seemed to enjoy it when I play it live. I made this video mostly for the other songwriters out there who also like to hear content about songwriting like this. But no matter if you write songs, or you just enjoy listening to music, or you just found this video on the dark web of YouTube, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I do hope that you enjoy my new version of Biding My Time.